Hey friends, Josh here from Technical Writer HQ, and in this video I'll be diving into the most common questions and answers in job interviews for proposal writers. So get ready to take notes because we're about to start. Job interviews can be a real nightmare, as we all know. Sitting for hours while someone asks you a lot of questions is also pretty stressful. And when it comes to writing jobs, things can get worse. The proposal writer job is a high demand job these days, and proposal writers can earn on average about $63,000 a year. And for industry veterans, this number is well over six figures. Job interviews for proposal writers are full of tricky questions where many times how you answer matters more than the answer itself. If we're going to attend a job interview for the proposal writer position soon, this video is just what you need. Now let's go ahead and dive into the basics of the proposal writer job interview. First to know is the main reason proposals fail is because of the wrong approach. Knowing this, it is logical that employers pay more attention to those who hire for such an important position. The questions in these job interviews are designed to challenge candidates and make them think outside the box. A proposal writer must be able to see things from a different and innovative perspective. So sharp thinking is one of the essential tools that you must have as a proposal writer. And next we'll go over the 11 most common questions employers use to evaluate proposal writer candidates in job interviews. So the first question here is, how would you rate your writing skills? This is the question employers often ask to break the ice and get the first impression of you as a writer. There's also a variation of this question focused on your previous experience as a writer. However, the purpose is the same. Don't waste time rating your skills from 1 to 10. Be direct and respond with examples that demonstrate your effectiveness as a writer, your writing skills, and your organizational skills to meet deadlines. Remember, always reference examples and the impact that they had. Otherwise, you're simply wasting precious interview time. And question 2, what is your correction and review process? Writing proposals is not easy. It is a constant back and forth, so you must be prepared to review and edit a lot. Employers ask this question to see how good you are when it comes to working based on the feedback your drafts receive. You should review each of your drafts until they are as perfect and error-free as possible within the time frame that you have. And here are some tips on proofreading and editing that you can bring up during the interview and use ultimately in your career. So take a break between writing and proofreading. Start proofreading from the end. This breaks the familiarity and subjectivity. And proofread for one error type at a time. You can also use software for grammar correcting, but obviously don't depend on the application entirely. They're not always accurate for the type of proposal and type of language you're trying to get across. And also ask someone to read and provide feedback. And you should also conduct a technical verification with subject matter experts. Now, question 3, how would you interview a subject matter expert? For every proposal writer, gathering valuable and reliable information is key to having an advantage over other proposal writers. The employer will ask this question to learn more about your communication and data collection skills. Gathering information for a proposal is not easy, so interviewing an expert is always the best option. However, the time you will have to gather the information at the interview is limited, so make sure you ask the right questions. At the beginning of the interview with the expert, you must make the purpose clear in order to collect the right information. And saving time is important, so prepare a list of questions ahead of time. Tell the employer about your conducting habits in interviews. Emphasize your ability to get the attention of a subject matter expert, build a relationship with them, and not waste your time by, again, coming up with prepared, well-researched questions. And question 4, what's the difference between a proposal letter and a cover letter? Now, this is a trick question that the employer uses to filter good candidates from others quickly. While a proposal letter is precisely a proposal, a cover letter is a quick way to introduce your company and the services it offers. Although the cover letter is not essential, it's helpful in saving time for companies reviewing the proposal. If you have the experience and knowledge, you'll know how to differentiate the two. So this type of filter question will not cause you any problems. And question 5, do you prefer to work independently? This is another trick question. While you probably think yes is enough, you'll need to justify this answer. Although companies seek to hire active and independent writers, this is almost always a team effort. You'll need to detail your skills as an independent person, but also as a team player. This will demonstrate to the employer your abilities to gather information and to contribute to the team effort to reach a goal. And question 6, how do you structure a proposal? The employer uses this question to check your planning skills. A proposal cannot be started by writing and nothing else. Before that, you must research and collect data. It is through research that the idea is formed that we later turn it into a proposal. And when you answer how the proposal is structured, mention how important the research and data collection process is. For reference, this is the structure of a proposal. You have proposal cover, executive summary, solution, project milestones, budget, about us, case studies, references, and terms and conditions. And we have question 7. How do you ensure that your writing is consistent? If there's one thing that companies hate, it's submitting inconsistent proposals. This type of question helps the employer verify how consistent a candidate is at writing. This is not always based on your writing skills, but on your organizational skills and process skills. The best way to answer this question is by emphasizing your research skills, since research is the first step to having a coherent proposal. This will tell the employer that you always double check your data before writing, and you go through a writing verification process to ensure everything makes sense that you are conveying. And question 8, how do you ensure that you meet deadlines? Proposal writers must mix speed with quality. For many services, the first 24 hours of a proposal window are critical. If you delay the delivery of your proposal, the chances that the company will choose a different proposal increases. Your answer should detail the process you follow to create the proposal from scratch, how you segment enough time for reviews, all while maintaining the speed-quality balance. And question 9, how do you search and filter relevant and accurate information? The employer will want to make sure that you can choose reliable information. An excellent answer to this question is to focus on the tools used for data collection and the effectiveness of your research. You must also highlight your ability to investigate thoroughly and not just stay with the first source of information you get. And this is when you can also bring up your ability to get in touch with subject matter experts to really get the best opinion on what type of data and what type of facts to include in your proposal. And question 10, what is the difference between proposal writing and technical writing? The employer will use this question to measure the candidate's general knowledge. Although proposal writing and technical writing have similarities, there are different things. A candidate with experience and knowledge will answer this question without problems. The most straightforward answer is that technical writing is used to inform the end user about a product without all the complexity that engineers handle. In contrast, proposal writing is used to persuade and convince the customer or the potential customer to buy. And question 11, what makes a bad proposal copy? The employer will use this question to gauge your overall proposal writing skills and knowledge. You don't have to think much to know that a bad proposal copy is inconsistent, too long, and doesn't go straight to the point. To help you prepare your response, here are a couple of signs of bad proposal copy. It takes too much time explaining what's in the proposal instead of getting to the proposal's essence. Your selling points and focus shouldn't be essential requirements. And if there are proposal requirements that your company needs to satisfy, be sure to mention them, but don't put all the weight on something that every qualified candidate needs to do either way. It doesn't focus on identifying the need or the solution. And it also talks too much about your company rather than focusing on the customer. And job interviews are never easy, especially if you are entering a new field. If you still have doubts, it's best to take a proposal writing course like the one on Technical Writer HQ to polish your skills, get real instructor feedback on your writing and the proposals that you create. And that way you can challenge yourself to become a great proposal writer and ensure you get the job and you're able to execute right away. And there we have it. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment box. Again, my name is Josh. I'm the founder of Technical Writer HQ, and I'll see you on some of our following videos. Cheers.